Good morning to everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about line coding mechanisms. We all know that what is line coding is. Line coding is nothing but it's a conversion of digital data into digital signals, right? So whatever the application, whatever the data we are generating at application layer, so it is getting transferred over various layers and finally it reaches the physical layer. And in physical layer it is getting converted into a generic format called zeros and ones, which is nothing but the digital data. And this digital data is getting converted into an electrical signal or optical signal, depends on the physical wire through which we are transmitting. If it is of a fiber optics cable, it is going to be converted as optical signal. If it is of twisted pair cable, it is going to be converted as an electrical signal. The data are converted to electrical signal if it is of twisted pair cable. If the digital data is going to be converted as optical signal if it is of fiber optics cable, right? So depends on what type of physical wire we are using, right, for connections, for transmissions, right? So this line coding mechanism is more important to know because we always have a biggest question mark. It's a $1,000,000 question: how data are getting transmitted over one place, from one place to another place. Here it is going to be transmitted as an electrical signal, right? So electrical signal by varying the voltages, right? Because for example, if I am going to transmit 1010, so here 1 will be given with a basic assumption that 1 will be given with high voltage and 0 will be given with neutral voltage, and this is going to be done at sender side, right? For example, for transmitting 1010, I am going to give a positive voltage, neutral voltage, positive voltage and neutral voltage, and this is done at sender side and it is transmitted over physical wire. And at the receiver side it starts decoding when it receives the high voltage levels. So first it receives higher voltage, which indicates that it is a value of 1. It is getting decoded, right? And the neutral voltage, it is getting decoded as 0, and again 1 voltage, high voltage, it indicates that it is 1, and the 0 voltage, it is indicated as 0, right? So this is how the data are getting transmitted, right? So here in case of line coding mechanism, right, so there are 3 major components that are playing an important role, right? One is nothing but baseline monitoring, another one is nothing but DC component problem, and third one is nothing but self synchronization. Baseline monitoring and DC component problem, it's a problem that happens, that is getting caused because of the electronic device we use for decoding at the receiver side. Because if you maintain a consistent voltage for a longer period of time, right, this baseline monitoring and DC component problem is getting caused because of a same reason, right? The same reason is, if you maintain the consistent voltage for a longer period of time, right, so there will be a drift in because in baseline monitoring, it is getting the average power of the received signal is calculated, and based on that only we are predicting the values of the values received, right? So the average power while we are calculating the average power, if we get consistent high voltage for a longer period of time, that causes a basic drift, right? So basic drift in the average power, which leads to misinterpretation of data, right? So this is why the baseline monitoring is occurred, right? And the second one is DC component problem, so which is nothing but which causes low frequency when your data is having consistent high voltage or else consistent low voltage. So this causes a low frequency generation, right, and which cannot be decoded, right, by the electronic device, right, available at the receiver. So these two are the major problems at receiver side while decoding the data. This is majorly caused because of consistent high voltage or else consistent low voltage, right? So this has to be avoided, right? And there is one more problem called self synchronization, that is nothing but the synchronization of sender's clock rate with receiver's clock rate, right? So because for example, if the sender's clock rate is having a longer signal element, and if the receiver's clock rate is faster compared to sender, so here the single one of sender, right, let's assume that the sender is sending one single one, right, one single data one, and it may be misinterpreted as two ones, right? Because receiver clock rate is faster than sender clock rate, right? So that may lead to misinterpretation of data, right? So these three are the major problems. And self synchronization is nothing but it is getting caused because of non-syncing of clock rate of sender and receiver. But in case of this baseline monitoring and DC component, so this problem is getting occurred because of same reason. The reason is consistent maintenance of high voltage or else consistent maintenance of low voltage. So we need to avoid this maintaining of a high voltage or else low voltage for a longer period of time. So for that we need to choose appropriate, we need to choose exact you need to choose appropriate line coding mechanism, so that we always have a fluctuations in our current, right? Fluctuations in our current, right? So the ultimate goal is to maintain fluctuations during the current, right? Because fluctuations only decides what is the data is, right? So we need to have a mechanism that should always have fluctuations in current, either high voltage, low voltage, high voltage, low voltage. So we cannot able to force the user to always send data with 10 10 10. So that should not be done, right? So user may send any data. For example, he may send consistent ones for more than 10 ones, 11 ones, and he may send consistent zeros, right? So but since because of consistent one and consistent zeros, we should not maintain high voltage. So for that you need to choose a appropriate line coding mechanism, so that we always have fluctuations in current, and that will be easy for the receiver to decode, right? So there are various mechanisms that exist. We'll see one by one. First one is what are all the mechanisms? Let's see. So unipolar NRZ, polar NRZ level, polar NRZ invert, polar RZ, polar biphase Manchester and differential Manchester. One is Manchester encoding, differential Manchester encoding, bipolar AMA mechanism, pseudo ternary, and multi-level schemes also exist, right? We'll see one by one with more detailed explanation. So look at, so this is so here let's okay. So here this is the first and foremost mechanism called unipolar NRZ, right? So this unipolar NRZ is the foremost mechanism that was implemented as part of line coding scheme, right? So in this unipolar NRZ mechanism, NRZ means it's a non-return to zero, right? So that is what unipolar NRZ mechanism, right? So NRZ is nothing but it's a non-return to zero scheme, right? We can call that as simplified as NRZ, right? So here the important thing you want to note down here is it has only two voltages, right? Two voltage, one is positive voltage, another one is zero voltage, right? We don't have three voltages. For rest of the mechanisms we have three voltages. For this NRZ mechanism we have only two voltages, 1 and 0, right? And here it is a very simple mechanism, right? So for 1 we give high voltage, for 0 we maintain zero voltage, right? Very simple mechanism. So for 1 we maintain high voltage, for 0 we maintain zero voltage, right? For example, if I have let's take for example 101. So for this we'll give 1 high voltage, 0 low voltage, and 1 high voltage, right? So this is how it needs to be done, right? So which is a very basic mechanism for line coding scheme, right? So here what the thing you want to note down here is whether this mechanism will cause baseline monitoring and DC component to occur. We already know what is baseline and monitoring, when baseline monitoring will happen, when DC component will happen, right? We already discussed about it. If I get consistent high voltage, right, which means if the user data is having consistent ones, I need to maintain high voltage. Is it right or not? As per the policy of NRZ, we need to maintain high voltage for, we need to give high voltage for 1 and 0 voltage for neutral voltage for 0. So if I get consistent ones, I need to maintain high voltage, right? So here high voltage is maintained, right? And if I get consistent zeros, I need to maintain neutral voltage, right? So this mechanism will cause baseline monitoring a DC component problem, right? So that's why this cannot be used, right? Next one is NRZL, right? Polar NRZ level, which NRZL is nothing but NRZ level, right? Here we have three voltages, right? One is 0 voltage, another one is positive voltage, another one is negative voltage, right? Three voltage levels exist, and here the important thing you want to note down here is, so here for 1 we give negative voltage, for 0 we give positive voltage, right? So 1 negative voltage, for 0 positive voltage. Look at, so this is the data 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 1, right? So this is the data we have taken, and for 1 I need to maintain low voltage, right, for which is negative voltage, and for 0 I need to maintain positive voltage, right? There is a fluctuation in current, right? So for this data is fine to decode, right? Whereas, so how this NRZ level will perform for baseline monitoring and DC component input, right? So here baseline monitoring is we have consistent ones. So if I have consistent ones, right, because as per the policy of NRZ level, we need to maintain a negative voltage for 1. So if I get consistent ones, I need to maintain consistent negative voltage for longer period of time, and at the same time, if I get consistent zeros, right, I need to maintain consistent positive voltage for longer period of time, right? So surely this will cause baseline monitoring a DC component problem, right? Move on to the next one, NRZ invert, right? This is one mechanism. We do inversion, right? Inversion in the sense, let's write the data here so that it will be easy for us to understand. So 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 1, right? So in this case, we always check for the next bit, right? So if the next bit is 1, we do inversion, right? So here inversion is done, right? If the next bit is 1, we do inversion, right? So here it will check for the, we always start from positive, so that's why we have started from positive voltage. It will check for the negative voltage, it will check for the next bit, upcoming bit. So if the next bit is 1, so we maintain positive voltage, we will make an inversion, right? So here inversion is done, right? Look at here inversion is done, right? And since the next bit is 1, right, the policy here is if the upcoming bit is 1, we'll make an inversion, right? Here the data transmission is taking place. Check for the next bit, it is 0, so we maintain same voltage level, right? And it will check for the next one, next bit is 1, so we maintain wherever we are, right? So wherever we are, we maintain, we'll make a transition, we'll make an inversion, right? So right now here we were at positive, and since the next bit is 1, we are making an inversion, and here we are in negative. Since the next bit is 1, we make an inversion to positive, right? So and data transmission taking place. Next bit is 1, right now we are in positive, we'll make an inversion, and next data transmission taking place. Next bit is 0, we maintain low voltage, maintain same voltage. Next bit is 1, we'll make an inversion, data transmission taking place. Next bit is 0, we maintain same voltage level, and the next bit is 1, we'll make an inversion and the data transmission taking place, right? So this is what the polar NRZ invert mechanism, right? Move on to the baseline and DC component input. So if I get consistent ones, right, so we always invert, right? For the next bit is 1, right? If the next bit is 1, we'll make an inversion. So here inversion is done, data transmission, next bit 1, inversion done, data transmission, next bit 1, inversion done, data transmission. So each time when I find an 1, we'll make an inversion and we'll transmit the data, right? So there will be a fluctuation in current, right? So if I get consistent ones, but whereas this will not cause baseline monitoring and DC component problem, but when I get consistent zeros, So there will be we need to maintain, because we don't invert for the value of 0. So we maintain because we start from positive, so we maintain the same voltage for longer period of time, and which causes baseline wandering and DC component problem. Next one, polar RZ mechanism, right? So in polar RZ mechanism, this is a different mechanism, right? So compared to rest of the schemes. So here the data transmission is taking place during the signal, right? During the signal element, right? So which in between the signal element, right? So in the previous case and all, the data transmission is taking place during the element, whereas here between the element, right? The data transmission, the signal transmission is taking place, right? The voltage level transmission is taking place here in this case. Before the data transmission is taking place, it is changing from one voltage to next voltage, whereas during the transmission only the voltage level is changing, right? So that is what polar RZ mechanism, right? So return 0, right? So the major advantage here is, in the previous mechanisms and all, we cannot able to detect what is the end of a one single bit, right? Because if I get for example, if these two datas, right, it's nothing but 1 and 0, right? So it's a two signal element, right? This is one signal element and this is another signal element, right? So if I get say here the data is 1 0, it is a continuous same voltage. User at the receiver side, it cannot able to decode. It is a two bit information, right? So that is a major problem with NRZ and NRZ level and all, right? But in this mechanism, so this pattern of graph, let's take for 1 will give voltage like this, and for 0 will give voltage like this, right? This is it will start from negative and it goes to neutral, and in this it starts from positive and it goes to neutral, right? So both the inputs will end up with a neutral, right? So when the user start decoding, right, so if it finds a neutral voltage, right, it means it's the end of a data, right? So that is the advantage in case of polar RZ mechanism, right? Both the datas, both 1 and 0, so it will end up with neutral voltage, right? Look at this is 1, right? So next one is 0 always so should be from negative to neutral, and next one is 1. So this is how it needs to be drawn. Let me erase this. Right. So here okay, here this is 1, right? So here I maintain this is the graph for 1, right? Let's see how this graph needs to be drawn, right? How this voltage level needs to be drawn. Next one is 0, so I need to start from negative to neutral, right? Next one is 1, positive to neutral. Next one is 1, positive to neutral. This is how it needs to be drawn, right? So for 0 I need to maintain from 0 to negative to positive, negative to neutral, and for 1 positive to neutral, for 0 negative to neutral, and for 1 positive to neutral. Finally join this. Finally join this. This is how it needs to be drawn, right? So this is what polar RZ mechanism is. Look at how it reacts for baseline wandering and DC component input, right? So for 1 we already know that for 1 I'll have a voltage variation from positive to neutral. For 0 I need to I'll be having negative to neutral, right? So we always have fluctuations in current, right? So because if I get consistent ones, right, the voltage level is consistently changing from positive to neutral, right? So look at positive to neutral, right? Whereas in case of negative, right, in case of 0, so it will have voltage variation between negative to neutral, right? So always we can able to easily decode the data, right? So when we are adapting to polar RZ mechanism, right? So this is important mechanism that needs to be noted. So which is using 3 voltage levels and easy for us to decode at receiver side, right? Okay. Next one, that is Manchester encoding, right? So polar biphase Manchester encoding. Manchester encoding here it is a very simple mechanism, right? So for 0 we take for 0 we'll have a mechanism, we'll have a graph pattern of like this, and for 1 we'll have a graph pattern of like this, right? So positive to negative. Look at we have 3 voltage levels, right? For 0 we'll start with positive and we'll end up with negative, right? And for 1 we'll start up with negative and ends with positive, right? So this is what, here we have 3 voltage levels, right? So let's see how this works. This is 1 0 1, 1 0 1 0 1, right? So in this mechanism we already know that for 1 it has to start from negative to positive, right? And for 0 it has to start from positive to negative, right? And for 1 it has to start from negative to positive. For 1, since it is 1, I need to make an inversion, right? So next bit is 1, it has to be from negative to positive. Right now I am in positive, so I need to make an inversion from here, and I need to make a transition from negative to positive, right? And for 0 positive to negative needs to be maintained, and for 1 negative to positive, for 0 positive to negative, and for 1 negative to positive. This is how it needs to be done, right? So the graph pattern for this is here it is written, right? For 0 positive to negative needs to be done, and for 1 negative to positive needs to be done, right? So let's see how this mechanism will work for baseline metering and DC component problem, right? So here if I get consistent ones, right? So look at look at so for 1 I need to maintain negative to high voltage, and each time I need to invert also, because consistent ones will make you available at the end of positive voltage, and I need to again come down to negative voltage to go for the next one, right? So this makes always fluctuations in current, and which is easy for us to decode, right? And the same is done at consistent zeros also, right? Look at I'll start from positive, and this is the graph pattern for 0. I need to make an inversion from negative to positive to proceed for next 0. So this inversion needs to be done for every single signal element, and each time I need to go to the positive voltage to proceed further for the next 0, right? So this is how Manchester encoding is done, right? The important point you want to note down here is this graph pattern, right? So for 0 I need to maintain from positive to negative, and for 1 I need to maintain from 1 to positive, negative to positive, right? So this is how it needs to be done. Next one, differential Manchester, right? So this differential Manchester encoding, right? Only one thing you want to make a note, right? Which is nothing but inversion is added, right? So here inversion is done, right? Here inversion is done if I get a 0, right? So if I get a 0, right? So the rest of the things are same, right? As like Manchester encoding, but the graph pattern here is only this, right? Only this, we always maintain this, right? So this Z and reverse of Z will be maintained, right? So as a graph pattern, and I need to make an inversion only if the next bit is 0, right? So that is what differential Manchester encoding is, right? So let's see how this works for this input, right? So here let's see the data. Okay, this is the data. For 1 we always have the graph pattern, we always start from positive, right? So this is for 1, right? For the next 0 I need to make an inversion. So right now I am in negative, so I need to invert to positive to proceed further, right? Next one 1. So for 1 I no need to invert, right? Only for 0 I need to invert. So for 1 the same Z pattern is maintained, right? For 0 I need to invert, so right now I am in negative, I need to migrate to positive, and the Z pattern is maintained, right? For 1 I need to maintain the same Z pattern voltage, right? For 0 I need to make an inversion, and then the Z pattern is maintained, and 1 Z pattern is maintained. This is how differential Manchester encoding mechanism is done, right? So let's see how this mechanism works for consistent ones and consistent zeros. So here if I get because we invert only for zeros, right? For 1 we make the Z pattern continue to till the last, right? Look at each time I maintain the Z voltage, that is, if I get consistent ones, right, we don't invert and we always maintain the Z pattern of data, right? Z pattern of voltage, right? Whereas in case of consistent zeros, each time I need to invert. So this mechanism will not cause baseline wandering and DC component problem, right? So this is the widely used mechanism right now in TCP/IP architecture, right? So earlier it was what was actually done with different mechanism, and not recently, very widely used line coding mechanism is differential Manchester encoding, right? Let's move on to the next one, bipolar AMI, right? So here this bipolar AMI, right? So it's a very simple mechanism, right? So here look at, we always give positive voltage for 1 and my neutral voltage for 0, right? So for the next one, right, look at the first one, I always give the positive voltage, right? And since it is 0, so I need to maintain negative voltage. For the next one, you need to consider for previous one what you have given, right? If the previous one you have given is positive, so the next one I need to give is negative, right? So for this one I need to check for the previous one, right? Previous one is negative, so I need to give the positive voltage, right? So now 0 will be given as usual with neutral voltage, and next I am getting a 1, so I need to check for the previous one. Previous one I have given a positive voltage, so I need to give the negative voltage, right? So for 0 I need to maintain neutral voltage. For the previous one I have given positive and negative voltage, so now I need to give negative positive voltage. So this is how bipolar AMI, right? So AMI mechanism is done, right? Let's see how this works for baseline wandering and DC component input, for which is nothing but consistent ones and consistent zeros, right? So here in case of this consistent ones, so here consistent ones we always make an check for the previous one, right? So previous one is given with positive voltage, and the next one is given with negative voltage. Since the previous one is positive, and since the previous one is negative, I need to maintain positive voltage for this one. So we will always have we always have fluctuations in current if I get consistent ones, right? And if I get consistent zeros, so I always maintain 0 voltage. So surely when I get consistent zeros, so this will cause baseline wandering and DC component problem, right? So that is the problem with bipolar AMI mechanism, right? Okay. Next one, pseudo Manchester. Pseudo Manchester is almost similar as like bipolar AMI, whereas in case of here we'll always check for here the similar process is done. Here for 1 I maintain a neutral voltage. For 0 I will give positive, alternate positives and negatives, right? Look at for first one I maintain for 1 I always maintain neutral voltage, right? Next is 0, so I will give positive voltage. For 2 ones I maintain neutral voltage, right? And for the next 0 I need to check for the previous one. Previous one is given positive voltage, so it is almost opposite to bipolar AMI mechanism, right? For AMI, in AMI we will give alternate voltages. We will give alternate voltages for alternative ones, whereas here alternate zeros will be given with positive and negative voltages respectively, right? So here 1 is maintained with positive voltage as a neutral voltage, and since the previous 0 is given with negative voltage, this 0 I am giving positive voltage, right? This is how it needs to be done. And in this consistent zeros will not cause baseline wandering and DC component problem, because there will be fluctuations in current, whereas consistent ones will cause baseline monitoring a DC component problem, right? Right. So next one is multi-level schemes, right? So this multi-level scheme, right? So in case of multi-level scheme, it can be easily represented as MBNL, right? It's a MBNL scheme, right? So M is nothing but M data elements is encoded, because as per the policy, what is the ultimate goal is we need to accommodate as much number of signal elements in a as much number of data elements in a one signal element, right? The ultimate goal of encoding is, so we always needs to, for example, if there is a car, right? If there is a car and you have, let's take 4 seaters available, right? Along with the driver, there is a 5 seater, right? So if we are the ultimate goal of transport department is, right, because we need to avoid congestion, right? To avoid congestion, we need to accommodate, because one person can travel in a car and 5 persons can travel in a car, right? So if there is a one person in a car, there will be more number of cars available in the road, and which causes more congestion, right? So we need to, ultimate aim of a transport department is we need to accommodate as much number of persons in a car so that we can avoid congestion, right? So this is the goal of a data transmission also, right? So here in case of data transmission, we need to accommodate as much number of data elements in a one single element, right? So this, as per this policy MBNL, right? So M is nothing but number of data elements, right? M is nothing but number of data elements, and N is nothing but number of signal elements, right? So in the previous mechanism and all, it's all not like multi-level schemes, right? Whereas here it is a multi-level scheme, right? Multi-level scheme is nothing but, so here 2 data elements are encoded in one signal element, right? This dotted line indicates one signal element, right? So here 2 data elements are encoded in one signal element, and in this case 8B60, whereas here 8 data elements, right? Look at 8 data elements are encoded, right, into six signal elements, right? So that is why it is a multi-level scheme, right? We are encoding more number of data elements in a one signal element, so that we can get more bandwidth, right? So that is the ultimate goal of this mechanism, right? That's why multi-level schemes were introduced, right? So here this is first scheme called 2B&Q, right? 2B1Q. Here 2 data elements are encoded in one signal element, right? Two data elements are encoded in one signal element, right? So here this is the pattern of your graph, right? So here this is the pattern of your graph, and they have given the table also, right? In this table they have given all the 4 possibilities: 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, and for 0, 0 I need to give -3 voltage. Here 5 voltage levels are maintained, right? -3, -1, 0, +3, +1, right? So -3 for 0 and 0, right, I need to give -3. For 0, 1 I need to give negative voltage, sorry, -1, and for 1, 0 I need to give +3, and for 1, 1 I need to give +1, right? So these are all the 4 possibilities when we have 4 data elements, right, which means 2 data elements, right? Two data elements will have combination of 4, right? 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, and 0, 0, right? So here let's look at 1, 1, 0, 0. Your data will be split into two bits, and 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. 1, 0, and as per this table, that graph, the voltage levels will be varied. For 1, 1 I need to give +1, so that's why +1 is maintained. For 0, 0 I need to give -3, and for 0, 1 I need to give -1, and for 1, 1 I need to give +1, right? And for 1, 0 I need to give +3. So this is how this graph needs to be drawn, right? So this voltage level needs to be varied, right? Next one, 8B60, right? So this is the last scheme in multi-level scheme, right? Multi-level scheme, right? This is 8B60 scheme, right? 8 data elements are encoded in a single 6 signal element, right? So here you need to refer this. There is a mapping table that exists, right? Let me show. So you can download from internet also, right? The mapping table of 8B60 scheme, right? Yes, this is called the 8B60 table, right? So they have given all the possible combinations, right? All the possible combinations of 8-bit data, right? 8-bit combinations, all combinations they have given, right? And for that there will be a mapping pattern of your voltage levels, right? There will be mapping pattern of your voltage level. Look at, so look at for the data, right? Let's take 8-bit data. Your data are split into each 8 bits of data, right? 0001, 0001. If you check for the voltage level of 0001 and 0001, 0001 and 0001 is, I think it is 11, right? So for 11, minus 0 double plus, right? Minus 0 double plus. Look at, so here, yes, here it is. Here minus 0 double plus, right? So this is what the voltage level for 0001 and 0001, right? So here this, for giving this 8 voltage levels, right? For this, for giving this 8 voltage level, right? So I need to this is the voltage level I need to give for, because this table is known to both sender and receiver, right? So this voltage level needs to be maintained, right, for conveying this data, right? So negative is neutral, and negative, neutral, and positive, right? This is the voltage level that indicates the data what the sender has sent us, this one, right, which is 0001 and 0001, right? So here there will be a weight is maintained. This weight is nothing but, so if you make a sum of this, the voltage level, here 2 negatives, 2 positive, and 2 zeros. So the weight is neutralized, which is equal to 0. And let's take the next data, right? What is the policy they maintain? Look at, so this is the next data, 0101, 0011, right? So 0011 is, I think it is so this is the voltage level, right? I need to convert into binary to decimal, and this is the voltage level for that, right? So in this case, so positive, negative, positive, look at, based on that the voltage variations has been given, right? Negative, positive, negative, positive, positive, 0, right? Look at, if we make a sum of this, it will give 3 positives and 2 negatives, so that the weight is minus plus 1, because one plus will be remained, right? So if you cancel this 2 plus and 2 minuses, right, I will be getting 1 plus, right? So that is the voltage level for this, right? When you go to the next data, right, next 8-bit of data, so the voltage for this 8-bit of data is plus double minus plus 0 plus, right? So for example, if it is 4321, 4321 is 3 plus 1 is 4, 40, right? For 40, look at where it is. Yes, here it is. For 40, minus 00 plus 0 plus, minus 00 plus 4321. Yes, if I convert this, 3 plus 1 is 4, 40, right? For 40 minus 00 plus, minus 00 plus and 0 plus. No. Okay, I'll check it with that. So what needs to be done here is, we should not, they have a policy of, they have a policy of the consistent 2 weights should not be come, right? Should not come, right? So look at, there should always be, because they always maintain 3 voltage levels, 3 weights, 0, plus 1, minus 1, right? So the two inputs, 2 8 bits should not have the same weight, right? The consistent weight should not come, right? Here the weight value is 0, here the weight value is plus 1. We should not get plus 1 here. The weight value, if I maintain for example, if the data there will be a 6 voltage levels available, right, for this data, and that should not get the weight level of plus 1, right? 2 plus 1 voltage levels, 2 weights should not be there, should not come next to next, should not come next to next, right? So what needs to be done is, if I get, right, if I get two 8 bits of data with the same weight, I need to invert the data, right? So invert the data, right, which means I need to invert the voltage levels, right? So if I get plus, I need to give minus. If I get minus, I need to give plus. Neutral will be maintained with neutral, right? So this graph pattern is inverted, right, because the pattern of data, the pattern of graph, right, the voltage levels what we get will give the weight value of plus 1. That's why the voltage levels are inverted, right? So here actually for this data, the voltage level is, I think it is this, since this is inverted, minus, plus, plus, minus, 0 and minus. So this is the voltage level for this data, and after inversion, right, we need to give this this plus, double minus, plus, 0 plus, right? So this is the inverted pattern of your data, right? So if I 3 plus 2 minus, it's a plus. Okay, okay. Yes, so the inverted pattern should give minus 1, right? So that is what the mechanism that needs to be followed in case of 8BTQ, right? This is the table of this, right? This is the 8B60 code, right? You can refer for all the possible inputs they have given, right? So this is how the line coding mechanism needs to be done, and we need to have a voltage variation. Ultimate goal of this line coding mechanism is we need to avoid baseline matrix and DC component problems, so that it will be easy for us to decode the data, right? So we'll see another concept in the next video. Thank you.